everyone, welcome back to KXAN Live. I'm your anchor Esmeralda Zamora, and today we have another KXAN intern joining us for a talk about their story that they've been covering throughout this entire semester. The semester ends this week, and with me I have Kashmir Khwaja, who is going to share a little bit about what she's been reporting on this semester. Kashmir, thanks for joining us. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great too, and we just said this is your last semester. You've been with KXAN for an entire semester. How has it been? What's your experience been like?
Oh, it's been absolutely wonderful. I mean, everything from the first day of shadowing all of the reporters to finally working on this long-form digital story that I've been working on the entire semester. It's been great. I've learned so much, especially from working at a university to being in a more professional setting in a newsroom. I've absolutely loved it.
And like you mentioned, your article that you've been working on this whole time was finally published today. That everyone can read it, everyone can enjoy it. Talk to me about the topic of your article and what drew you to this topic.
Right, so the article is focused on a mother. Her name's Elaine Nguyen. She unfortunately lost her child to a stillbirth a couple years ago, and she has created a support group for mothers here in Austin, Texas, surrounding loss, whether that's through a miscarriage or a stillbirth or losing a child after birth. She wanted to create a group for mothers to have that support, which she thought was lacking. The story also talks about grief and a therapist's perspective, and it talks about society's general discomfort with loss as well.
And what drew you to this? Why did you originally decide on this topic? Where did you find it? Talk to me about all the steps.
Right, so I knew I wanted to tell an emotional story. That was something that I was really aspiring to do right off the bat. And I actually found Elaine's email at the KXAN Report It, and I reached out to her, and, I just wanted to get into contact and see if this was something she really wanted, me to pursue and be able to tell her story in full detail. And we got into talking with one another, and the story came to life.
Wow, and this was a very compelling story that you told. It's on our website already, but for those of us who haven't read it yet and are here watching, tell me a little bit about her story and how she decided to start all of this.
Right, so like I said, Elaine lost her son, Lando. She had a stillbirth, and after she had that loss, she wanted to be able to, have a support groups, and she thought that was lacking in the community here in Austin, Texas. She said there was a village for, everyone who experiences loss, but what about the mother, after everyone's, consulted and given that help during that time. So she felt as if that was really lacking, and she wanted to create something that mothers could, come together with one another, have support, and be together during that loss and that grief. So I wanted to tell her story in that way.
And when you were talking about the lack of support for these mothers here in our area, what did you find out?
Right, so there really was nothing. Like there's absolutely nothing here to support mothers in Austin, Texas. They have, you can call a line or reach out for support through doctors or nurses or therapists, but there's not something specifically focusing, on a group for mothers who have lost a child in that way. And she specifically wanted an area for mothers to be able to come together and experience that together and not be afraid to show what they're experiencing. It's hard for someone to understand who hasn't experienced that. So yeah.
What do you hope comes from your story?
I hope, I hope that mothers all around are able to see that story and know that they're not alone. I want people to know that there is support out there for women, and there is support together as one. So I really hope everyone can see that women are not alone, and there are other women who have struggled with similar circumstances, and you can come together and find solace.
There it is. Tell me, what is in this article that we maybe didn't get to touch on right now?
Right, so there's some statistics surrounding pregnancy loss. I believe it's 20% end in miscarriage, and then there's 80% don't know why a stillbirth or a miscarriage has happened. And that's something that I don't think society knows about. When I was interviewing the therapist, I had no idea that it was more common than you would think to have these issues with pregnancy and loss. and surrounding grief. You would think that there would be more options available for women who have experienced this type of loss, and there's not. So it was really eye-opening to me to be able to talk with the therapist and, see that a lot of these resources are lacking. And it was even more astounding in the sense because there wasn't anything for these women to confront to, knowing that this is such a huge issue that we're talking about here.
And for those mothers out there who are maybe going through similar situations but don't know where to find these resources, obviously I know you've linked them on our website, but
Right.
for those watching, where can they find those?
You can go to Elaine's Instagram specifically. It's Embracing Wholeness. I know we're adding that into the article as well, and it's there. She has more information about her community and her group that she's set up, and that's all on her Instagram. And additionally, I have a few more articles linked in the article that was published as well.
Well, this was such a great story that you shared with us, Kashmir. I'm sure a lot of moms out there are very grateful that someone is telling this story as well. You mentioned this is a story this is a situation that most mothers don't get a lot of support in. And
Right.
This is a woman who is changing that, especially here in Austin, Texas. Now let's talk about you. I know that your semester is wrapping up this week.
Yes.
So what are your plans?
Well, I did graduate this semester, so I'm officially a Texas Ex, which is very exciting, although I am sad to see my time here come to an end. But looking towards the future, I'm really hopeful about getting a job as a reporter and an anchor. Long-term goals, I'd love to work as an investigative reporter. So in the future, I'm considering graduate school as well as law school to really get more information about how to do all of that.
Wow, and we do have an Investigates team here.
Yes.
How is it like working with them?
Oh, it's actually really great. I actually just talked to the head of the department a few days ago, and she's working about finding a position for me next semester to work with them on the legislative session, which is really exciting. So I'm hoping all things work out there.
That's awesome. Well, congratulations on graduation.
Thank you.
you for taking time to stay with us this entire semester and help us along the way and create this amazing story that is now on our website, kxan.com. You all can go and find Kashmir's story, read a little bit more about this topic and what she covered. And well, thank you so much, Kashmir, for joining us.
Great. Thank you so much.
And that's all we have today for KXAN Live with our KXAN intern. Remember, we'll be back tomorrow with more streams, and we hope for you all to join us there. Thank you.